Class, welcome again in the lecture. And today we are going to start the one of the chapter of the term on syllabus that is called biomolecules with a weightage 5 marks in your term 1. This chapter is actually belongs to the biochemistry, the blend of the biology and chemistry. And here in this chapter, we have to be deal with the different chemical phenomena of the different biomolecules like carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acid, vitamins. But this year, some of the topics are deleted from this chapter like vitamins you have no need to learn about, and some restricted learning from the carbohydrate also. So we'll start the chapter. Let's start the chapter and let first learn about this word biomolecules. As the word reflect now, the word reflect means the living beings. Bio means the living organisms. The molecules means the related molecules which are responsible for the living organisms. The life on earth is because of the different inorganic and organic materials. Always atoms, molecules combine together to form inorganic and organic materials. So some of the organic materials that is responsible for the sustaining the life on earth is called the biomolecules. Especially this word deals with the some of the carbon molecules are organic molecules which due to which the life process, the metabolic process in the living organisms or living body is actually going on, is carried out. And under this category, the one of the important biomolecule that is called carbohydrate is proteins, nucleic acid, vitamins, enzymes, hormones, and different other lipids and fats also are come under this category. We are going to start the topic, the chapter from the first carbohydrate. Carbohydrate. That will be the first topic actually. Carbohydrates. As this word reflect now, carbohydrates is generally meaning, the word meaning is the hydrates of the carbon. The hydrates of the carbon means water and carbon means carbon. So generally it can be written as with a general formula CxH2O CxH2O, which indicating the sum of the water molecule associated with carbon to make a carbohydrates like glucose, fructose and other examples. But that was the earlier formula that was derived by the different molecules in the early learning of this biomolecules chapter. But as the science grew up, it is believed that the carbohydrates are the compounds having an optical activity. The optical active compounds with a aldehyde group, or with a ketonic group. Aldehyde group or ketonic group, you can just learn it. Aldehyde or ketonic group, CHO and CO. So all those molecules having optical activity with aldehydic or ketonic group with a different hydroxyl group also attached, that is called polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones. Polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones are the compounds which on hydrolysis produce such molecules. So we can define this carbohydrate word, the optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or optically active polyhydroxyketones are the compounds which on hydrolysis gives such molecules is called carbohydrates. And earlier it was believed that that is the formula. Actually, many of the carbohydrate not fit in this formula, like a ramenose, which having a formula that is not fit in this general formula. The same way, acetic acid, which is not a carbohydrate but fit in this formula. So that are the some exceptional reason due to which we have to be deal with the new definition of the carbohydrate. Students, carbohydrate is actually classified on the basis of different categories. For example, on the basis of hydrolysis behavior of the molecules of the carbohydrate, we can first differentiate the carbohydrate as monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. That are the some basic method. Monosaccharides, polysaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. Actually, these word, the saccharides means sugar. The saccharides means sugar. It is believed as on hydrolysis, if the carbohydrate does not give any other carbohydrate molecule, that is the simplest molecule itself, and that called a monosaccharides, generally number from 3 carbon to the 7 carbon generally, but it may be up to the 9 carbon also. So monosaccharides generally come under the category. The number of carbons are generally from triose, the 3 carbon, to the 7 or 9 carbon, like haptose or a nonose. Number of on the basis of number of carbon, we just add OSE in the last of the carbohydrate, like triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose, haptose. So these are the some carbohydrates categories. On the basis of aldehydic and ketonic group, we can further differentiate either aldose or ketose. These are the some word what we are using for the carbohydrates. Oligosaccharides means this word actually reflects that on hydrolysis, if the carbohydrate produces some other monomers, some other carbohydrates up to from number of carbon 2, number of monosaccharide 2 to 10. On hydrolysis, if the molecule of the carbohydrate produce further some monosaccharides, maybe 2 monosaccharides up to 9 or 10 monosaccharides, they are reflect the oligosaccharides. And polysaccharides means on hydrolysis, this polysaccharides produces a many number of the monosaccharides units, that is the simplest one. For example, in monosaccharides, you are just reflect that pentose sugar like a ribose, which form the DNA and RNA, hexose, the 6 carbon called glucose, fructose, galactose are example. Oligosaccharides like a sucrose, maltose, and lactose, which on hydrolysis produces 2 monomers, monosaccharides. And in polysaccharides, for example, like starch, glycogen, gelatin, gum, and cellulose, which produce many monosaccharides on hydrolysis. These are the further classified as reducing and non-reducing sugar. Reducing and non-reducing sugar means the carbohydrate, if can reduce the Fehling's and Tollens reagents, they are generally termed as reducing sugar. You have to learn that the reducing sugar actually based on if the carbohydrates having a free groups, a free functional group, aldehydic or ketonic groups are if they are present as a free, they can reduce the Fehling's or Tollens reagent and called reducing sugar. Like all monosaccharides are reducing. Generally, all disaccharides are reducing except sucrose, which is non-reducing sugar, because the sucrose cannot reduce the Fehling's and Tollens reagent because of absence of free functional group. Polysaccharides are generally non-reducing because they all are having a non-free functional group. The functional group bonded together to form a polymers actually, in the case of polysaccharides. This is the way how can we differentiate. One more method is there. On the basis of sweet taste, we actually call the carbohydrate as a sugar, that is called saccharides. Sugar or non-sugar. Non-sugar means they are having non-sweet taste. Like all polysaccharides are non-sugar because they are having a tasteless. And monosaccharides and disaccharides generally, oligosaccharides are generally sugar because they are having a sweet taste. These are the basic of classification. What you have to learn here, you have to learn that what is the non-reducing sugar, that is sucrose, that is very important. Ranitose, which is not fit in this formula, ranitose, You have to be learn acetic acid, not carbohydrate, but fit in this formula. And oligosaccharides on hydrolysis produces 2 to 9 or 10 monosaccharides. That is a simpler one. Monosaccharide cannot further hydrolysis to give a carbohydrates molecule. That is important for the your MCQ, which is coming in the term 1. Next, what you have to learn? You have to learn the structure of glucose. The structure of glucose. The structure of glucose. Students, structure of glucose, actually there are the many reactions that will verify that what will be the structure of glucose. Having a 6 carbon in a linear chain or a cyclic chain, you have to be prove that with the help of different reactions that how many number of carbons are there. They are linked with a linearly or a cyclic position. So there are different categories and different reactions that will prove all these things. Let's move on about that and learn about the structure and verify the structure of glucose. So structure of glucose, first you have to see the formula C6H12O6. This is the general formula of glucose. This is the general formula, molecular formula of glucose. Let's learn the first structure, and that is if the glucose, which is can be written like this. If the glucose on heating, the prolonged heating with HI, then produce a N-hexane indicating the presence of 6 carbon in a linear chain. All 6 carbon linearly attached in the glucose, because whenever the molecules, any molecules heating, prolonged heating with HI, if they produce a normal hexane indicating the 6 carbon linked in a linear chain, that prove the 6 carbon in a linear chain. That is the first evidence about. Second structure about what is the functional group, as we call the glucose is generally actually glucose is having aldehyde group called aldose, aldohexose. Hexose means 6 carbon carbohydrate, aldo means aldehyde group. So we have to prove that there is an aldehyde group or not. Aldehyde group, before aldehyde group proving, we have to prove the presence of carbon double bond O group, that is called carbonyl group. Carbon double bond O group. Actually, students, carbon double bond O group bond with hydroxylamine NH2H, hydroxylamine to produce oxime, that is called C double bond ONH. If glucose is having a carbon double bond O group, it must be react with the hydroxylamine to produce oxime, and glucose do. Glucose actually react with the hydroxylamine to produce oxime, glucooxime, indicating the presence of carbon double bond O group. So here can be the same formula you can use, and there will be the structure of the glucose. The next way, that is one, and second way, carbon double bond O group actually show a nucleophilic addition reaction with hydrogen cyanide to produce a cyanohydrine. This is the formula of cyanohydrine. HCN, this bond back towards oxygen, H plus Cn minus. So Cn minus actually add on the carbon, and hydrogen go with oxygen to produce this additive product called cyanohydrine. So glucose also show this addition reaction indicating the presence of carbon double bond O group. These two reactions actually indicating the presence of carbon double bond O group in the glucose at the first position. Both reactions indicating the two different characteristics. Now we have to move towards the third one. This carbon double bond O group is aldehyde or ketone. For that we have to use a reaction that only shown for the aldehyde, not ketone, and that reaction is a mild oxidizing agent like a bromine water. Actually, students, the CHO group, when treated with bromine water, converted carbon double bond O, C double bond OH carboxylic group. Bromine water is a mild oxidizing agent that can oxidize only aldehyde, not the ketone, indicating the glucose was aldehyde group. Glucose is having aldehyde group, not ketonic group. And you can see here, I can use here CH4, CH2H, and here also will be this is called gluconic acid. This is called gluconic acid. So bromine water treated with glucose to form gluconic acid, indicating the presence of aldehyde group. These are the some evidence to prove that there is carbonyl group, a 6 carbonyl link, and gluconic acid indicating the presence of CH group. Same way, you can prove that some of the more reactions indicating the presence of some other, like fourth one, we have to prove that number of OH group present. There are actually 5 OH group, that is called pentahydroxyaldohexose. The general name of glucose is pentahydroxyaldohexose. So we have to prove the presence of 5 OH group. So 5 OH group can be proved that by acetylation. Acetic anhydride prove that reaction with acetic anhydride, the glucose actually form a pentaacetate. The one molecule of glucose consume 5 that acetic anhydride group, the compound, indicating the presence of 5 OH group in glucose. The formation of pentaacetate, this is now pentaacetate glucose. Pentaacetate glucose indicating the presence of 5 OH group. Now we have to prove how many are there in a primary. So for proving primary OH, we have to use the nitric acid. Actually, nitric acid is stronger acid than a bromine water and other acids. So nitric acid can oxidize the primary alcohol, only primary, to the carboxylic acid. So you can see that the CHO also oxidizes into carboxylic and CHOH. This reaction, the glucose when combined with nitric acid, the nitric acid oxidizes CHO aldehyde group as well as the primary alcohol, indicating the presence of one OH is a primary. So this is called a saccharic acid. The name of the compound is saccharic acid. Nitric acid produces saccharic acid with the glucose, indicating the presence of one OH group is a primary. It means other OH must be secondary. There are 5 OH, other OH must be secondary, the one is primary. So all these reactions actually indicating the presence of 6 carbon in a chain. Second, carbon double bond O group. Third, carbon double bond O group is aldehyde. Fourth, 5 OH group. And sixth, out of 5, the one OH is a primary, indicating the presence of formation of saccharic acid. These are the some evidences prove the different properties and the number of functional group attached in the glucose. Now you can form the structure. The structure of glucose is actually like this: CHO, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At third position, the OH group is on the left side. Other OH group are the right side. This is the linear structure of glucose. This is the linear structure of glucose, indicating the third OH on the right side means the configuration of the OH attached with the carbon at the third position is different to the other 4 OH group. And this is the linear structure called Fischer projection, FISCHER. Fischer projection, which is given by the Mr. Fischer, and this is the linear structure of glucose, most widely used structure of the glucose. This is all about the linear structure and their evidences for the glucose. Now we have to prove the cyclic structure, of glucose. Actually, students, Howard, one of the main famous scientists, which actually proving that the glucose also having a cyclic structure. This linear structure converted with a regionatically in a cyclic structure. That is called a Howard projection. This is called Fischer projection. And there are many evidences behind that how that glucose having a cyclic structure. Actually, it was seen that the pentaacetate of glucose does not react with the hydroxylamine and hydrogen cyanide and sodium bisulfide, indicating the absence of free CH2 group. Even the glucose also exists in the two different form, that is called alpha glucose and beta glucose, with a different physical property, indicating there must be difference in the cyclic and linear structures. These some of the evidences indicating there must be a cyclic structure in glucose, and which is proved by Mr. Howard. So let's see the cyclic structure of glucose. It is very simple. You have to be just form the hexagon with a oxygen at the position. The third OH must be in the ring, and other you can form actually in a linear structure. The first position combined with the fifth position. The first position combined with the fifth position to cyclize the ring. So there are 6 members in the ring with one oxygen, and this CHO group actually converted into the OH group. So there are actually cyclization from the position first to the fifth and having a 6 member in the ring. If the first OH on the right side, means in the cyclic structure, if the first OH on the downside, this is called alpha glucose. If the first OH on the left side and in the cyclic structure upside, that is called a beta glucose. One more important thing is there. Actually, this is called, you can see, this is called actually, this is the structure of pyranose. Actually, this is a structure of pyrene. The one of the compound we are having, this is the structure of pyrene, and it was believed that the carbohydrate glucose having a similar structure to the pyrene, so it is also known as pyranose. So now you can see the structure name alpha D, the dextrorotatory positive, alpha D plus glucopyranose. That will be the full name of this cyclic structure. Pyranose we are indicating for the pyrene-like structure. This is all about the glucose. Next day we'll learn about some other structures of the monosaccharides like galactose and fructose, and we'll learn about the disaccharide structure like sucrose, maltose and lactose. This is all about your syllabus, and this is the first lecture. We'll meet tomorrow for the next session.